So welcome to this second video on the Matrix Lab recruitment platform. I've shown you on the other video how to use the project section. I'd like now to show you how to import and add candidates, and also how to create status codes and categories. Let me start with the status code. So this one is really important and interesting. So by default, you have all those status codes here. Those are the ones we're also using for our clients. And you can see, you can follow the process of each of the candidates. The last two are actually tests I've done when I created the account. And it's very easy to create a new status code. So you can say, I want a status code, do not hire, for example. Well, it's not very funny, but let's say do not hire. You want to add it and it will show here, right? And then you can decide if you want the status to be public or private. What does it mean? It means that if this candidate is shared with someone else, or with a hiring manager or with a third party, it will also see the status code. And that can be very useful. For example, if you're working with a recruitment agency and they want to know how their candidates are progressing, you can just update the status code and they will see it on the platform. You don't have to communicate with them each time that something changes. And same thing for the hiring managers. You can also just update it. So if you don't want them to see it, you just put it private. If you do want them to see it, you put it public. So let's put this one private. So yeah, it's very easy. And again, you can create as many as you want. We do suggest that you have some consistency and you make sure that you don't duplicate status code. But just help yourself. You also have categories here, and categories are pretty useful if you want to segment people in the database. So if you want to say, I want to categorize all project manager, client director, what have you. So here you see there's a category HR, for example, but you could say I create a category project manager. It's already there, and you add it, and it's there. It's very easy to create. Those two things are important for you to really monitor the candidate and also to filter on candidates. So it's really important for you to use, or useful for you to use. Then you have two things here. You have add candidate or import candidates. Add candidate, you will use that when you want to add just one person, specific person. And import candidate, you will use that when you want to import a file with a lot of different people. So let me show you first the add candidate. So you see here the form you can fill in, and that's pretty much the same form as the general information form that we've seen already in the other video. So if you want to put it, create a test. So first name, last name, I can say it's from Matrix Lab. And you can also create, say, okay, it's in Germany. And here you see you have the categories. So this person is a project manager. And you can add an email address. And here you can also have interesting information about the salary expectations, about any additional benefits. That's pretty interesting to know, of course, because then you know if you're on good track in terms of budgets, etc. And here you have the LinkedIn URL and the social media URL. And this is very important. Please add the LinkedIn URL if you have it, and systematically. It's better for you because when you're going to search on candidates, you automatically have the link to LinkedIn, so you don't have to go on LinkedIn, search that candidate on LinkedIn. It's automatically linked. And also, it's also good for the quality of the database. In terms of duplication, we're also using that information to duplicate profiles. So, very important one. Well, in this case, I don't have a LinkedIn URL, so I'm going to create a dummy URL that I will call test 200. Test 200. I can also add a Skype ID, as you see. The ability, and I can add this candidate to a project. So let's say I add it to the sales manager, for example. And I add my candidate, and it's there. And if I was looking for my candidate, I will just put this and I can see it. Yeah, and here I can also add obviously all the information that we talked about already in the other video. The most important, I would say, to add right after you've created the profile is the status. So you can choose the status, so just put in uploads, for example. But if you do want to have this candidate to be a telephone screen, for example, you can change that. And the CV, if you have it, it's also nice to add it already. So you have everything already from the start, or all information you need about this candidate. Again, you see here the buttons. If I had a LinkedIn profile, you would have a LinkedIn button here. If I had the phone, you would have a WhatsApp button here. Right? So that's for if you want to import a single candidate. Now, if you have a full list of candidates, you can just go to import candidates. Here you have a format. I will recommend you to download it and to look at it. I'm not going to do that now, but look at how it's structured and what are the name of the key fields. The 4 key fields you need to have, otherwise the upload would be rejected. So just have a look, make sure you have those fields and if they are named correctly. You say, okay, today I want to upload candidates to this project. It's in Germany. There are project managers, for example. And I'm going to choose my file. So I have my file here. And I'm going to import. Yeah, and now I've imported, well, there's just one candidate in that file, but I've imported that candidate. And if I go and look at my sales manager, I see now I have 5 candidates, so it has been imported properly, right? So that's pretty useful as well to if you have a full list. That's pretty good. And then again, use the categories and use the status codes, because that's really going to help you to follow on your candidates. So that was for this video about importing candidates and categorizing them, and see you for the next video. Bye!